Hi, I'm Heather White, and we're at Artist Image Resource, and we're going to show you a little bit about the silkscreen process today. Artist Image Resource, or AIR, is a community print and imaging lab, and we're approaching our 25th anniversary, and we're located on Pittsburgh's north side.
Hi, I'm Caroline Mead, and I'm tech here at AIR.
Hi, I'm Natasha Neer. I'm a volunteer here at AIR.
So we typically do a photographic silkscreen method at AIR, and that is where we coat a blank screen or an open screen with this sticky pink glue, as I like to think of it, that is light sensitive. So we're starting with this open mesh screen, so it's tiny little holes in this polyester fabric that are going to allow ink to pass through it. But right now we're covering those holes or kind of clogging those holes with this emulsion. And when it is dry, we're going to be able to expose it to light to harden or block out areas of the screen. So I've made a film positive. This is just a transparency. I printed off an inkjet printer of an image I manipulated in Photoshop. So this is an image of Stacey Abrams, and I've put a halftone on it or a bitmap, so all the kind of gray areas are translated into little black dots. And these are going to block out the light and keep certain areas of the screen from hardening or sort of the crystals in the emulsion locking, and I'll be able to wash those out with water. So I'm going to lay the transparency down, put my screen on top. I have this kind of black felt block out to just keep the light trapped in there, keep it from leaking around the back. And I like to use these kind of paperweights to kind of keep everything pressed down tight to the glass of the exposing unit. Some places have a vacuum table, but this DIY method works just fine. So after about 5-6 minutes, I'm going to take this off of my exposing unit and I'm going to wash it out with water. Water under pressure, like through a hose, kind of works best to get these tiny little areas of non-hardened emulsion out of your screen. So I made a couple paper stencils, one to kind of fill behind Stacey and one to fill in her face. And I'm going to use these paper stencils on blank screens with no emulsion to just create a simple way to add some multiple colors to my print. So Natasha is getting our second layer ready. We're not going to bore you with the first layer here. We're going one layer in. So we've printed a gold background using our one paper stencil, and now Natasha is using just this really simple tape corner registration. So she took one of our gold prints and she lined it up underneath the silk screen, and you can see we have this clamp board that holds the silk screen in place, so you're printing in the same spot every time. So she's all registered and ready to go, and I am banging this jar of ink on the table trying to get it open because sometimes the ink kind of dries in the lid and it's a little bit of a struggle, but we're ready to go. So I'm going to put this clamp back here to kind of hold my squeegee up. That's an old AIR hack, and you can see my paper on the back there. It's good to put the paper on the back of the screen so you're not pulling the squeegee across it. And here I go. Real thin layers of ink I'm putting down. Notice I don't have a ton of ink. This metallic ink dries fast, so you want to keep everything moving. I'm just going to print a couple for you here on camera. And there you go. We are ready for layer number 3. So we have our transparency and we've taped it on to our print with 2 layers, and we're using that to register. You know, we kind of are using this low-tech painter's tape, so you know, not too much of a risk of ripping the paper, but we probably should not have taped this transparency down right in the image area, and we're kind of moving fast today. But as you can see, we're readjusting, re-putting down our tape corners because we have a new screen and it might not be in the same exact place as the last screen. And then these tape corners will tell us where our paper goes. And then we'll take off the transparency. We're not trying to print on that. That was just used to check our registration. There's lots of different ways to kind of register if you're doing multiple layered prints. Some people use these metal pins and you use a hole punch. You can use these little metal tabs to kind of slide your paper in. This tape method works great for sort of prints that the registration doesn't have to be really, really tight. This one can be a little loose. It's kind of this Warhol style portrait. So as you can see, we use this kind of muted blue color. I think it looks great. And here we go. In about 45 minutes, our time, we were able to crank this out. And yeah, there you go. A little info on silkscreen print. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to put a few links in the end credits here, one for more information on Artist Image Resource and some silkscreen resources.